Mhm.
I have to ask you this because you brought it up and we weren't being flippant about it, but I am completely in awe of the type of person you are, especially when I talk to you about your background and where you were raised. At 14, you were sexually assaulted. Was there a direct correlation with what happened the following year when you
Well,
got pregnant?
yeah, I think that, and of course, I didn't have the ability to see these things at the time, and I wasn't in therapy in a real way until much later. But the way that I dealt with being raped at 14 was honestly I know now, very common way that women deal with being sexually assaulted or raped, which was that I took it on myself and then determined that the way that I was going to move forward from that was like, this is like, I wanted that. I am a slut. I'm slutty. I'm a slutty girl and I'm going to give it to you. You know what I mean? And I, you know, I didn't know that that was what I was doing, but that it became my default, like in the way that I thought of myself as a girl. And then also just, the 90s were such a fucked time, Gary, in terms of being a woman, because the messages that you're getting, Monica Lewinsky's the slut, the Long Island Lolita, like all of these things, who, by the way, that Long Island Lolita, Amy Fisher? I mean, she
Yeah.
was a child. She was
And but
16 years old. And like,
and
so
and they made movies about her like she was a hooker, but go on.
yes. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
these were the messages that we were given as
Mm.
young women coming of age. And like for me, there was no conversation in the home, again, whether it was because my parents were a little bit older and old school and Catholic. I don't know if they thought that things were just going to take care of themselves or what. I don't know what they thought, but there was no conversation until I literally was pregnant about sex. And that's obviously something that was really hard for my mother, and really hard, uh just it was really hard for her. It was really hard for her. She felt like she had failed me. But
Oh.
I know it's sad, but I also was like, so I was moving through the world. I had this boyfriend. I was in love with him. Of course, I wasn't on the pill because I wasn't going to tell anyone I was going to have sex, um, and I wasn't going to ask him to put a condom on because I'm just this girl. And in my head, like sex, the pleasure of sex was for him.
Mhm.
Like I
Not for
didn't
you. Yeah.
know. Well, no,
Yeah.
I didn't even have I mean, I had sex for years before I
Until you
had
had
an
a
orgasm.
uh,
Sure.
jo- join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
wait, what is this? Oh my God,
you're
this
like
is it.
this is what I should be doing as an adult. No, I have a question. I know that if I ever got pregnant as a teenager, I wouldn't have told my mother. I would have tried to do some I would try to get rid of it on my own because I grew up in a time in our neighborhood where usually I for a long time, and this is such a sad theory of my lifestyle, I thought everyone got pregnant at 18 because my cousins and my friends were all getting pregnant at 18 and it was teenage pregnancy was a thing. So you go to your mom.
I
Why'd you
didn't.
tell your mom?
No,
I
I
was gonna
didn't.
say, tell me, yeah, tell me
Mm-mm.
who.
No, my parents read my diary.
Wait a
I know.
second.
I know.
No,
Yeah,
well,
it's
first of all, you had your
crazy.
diary, you just left it out in the open?
Listen, Carrie, maybe I wanted them to. You know what I mean? It was the whole story is pretty wild. And I wrote, that's why I sort of had never talked publicly about it until I wrote about it in my book, because I did feel like there were so many different things that I wanted to share in talking about it. Um, and the nuance of the thing and the nuance of how I felt about it. And given my Catholic upbringing and my parents being Catholic, and I mean, our whole family being Catholic on both sides.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, my parents knew something was up with me, and I was trying to figure out how to just I was just going to do it on my own. I had a friend in my high school who was older, who had already had an abortion, and she didn't tell her parents or anything. So I was like just doing what she had done. But my parents knew something was up with me, and they read my diary and found out. And then, yeah, and then, but once they knew, the relief of having the support of my parents was like, I mean, I can't even imagine how things would have been different if I had just tried to do it on my own and swallow it and like handle it. The thing that now what is so clear to me, which is crazy, is that I look at my own child who's almost 13, and that's a baby, that's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And you're living your life and you think like these things happen to you, or you are participatory in them or whatever. And in your head, you're like, I'm a person. I can deal with this. Not, you don't know that you're a baby. You know what I'm saying? You look back at like you at 19 and aren't you
Yeah,
just, oh
girl.
my God.
Or even like, I'm thinking even at 15 and you see your daughter 2 years older, I wouldn't even,
Yes.
there was a song called Babies Having Babies. Like I would like, but we don't, but I mean, your parents support you. You tell them we fix it.
Hmm.
Um, Not fix it. That's the wrong choice of words. Please don't be mad at
Listen,
me.
this is the choice that I made that was right
Yeah.
for me
Right.
and my family in that moment was for me to have an abortion.
Do you have
And
shame associated with that still?
no, I don't. I don't. Because
Any
I feel okay. I feel all right
Okay.
about
You
it.
do?
And
You've done the work?
yeah, yeah, and it was hard. I mean, it was really hard for me. It was really hard for me. And I also, part of the reason why I wanted to write about it in my book, part of the reason why I chose to speak about it in front of Congress is that I think that because it's such a divisive
Mhm.
subject matter,
Mhm.
healthcare matter, um, a lot of times I do feel like the pro-choice side sort of defaults to it's not a big deal. And I think it's okay for it to be a big deal for women to make the decision to have an abortion and to feel even conflicted. I think that's okay too. But the bottom line is this is women's health care. It's essential. It's essential women's health care. And at the end of the day, if you and I know people try to do this a lot, but if you really did reverse it and there was something that happened with a man's body that
Oh,
then all of a sudden the government had it's just absurd. It would never happen.
it wa
The fact is like a lot of times and they've been they're great at marketing the religious right,
Mhm.
they're great
Mhm.
marketers, let's give it to
Mhm.
them. And
Mhm.
so they conjure up images of like, you know babies that could be loved and all of this stuff, when in
Mhm.
actuality,
Mhm.
listen, a lot of times there are teens like myself, totally unprepared, who made a decision that was 100% right for me. A
Mhm.
lot of times women, they're very wanted babies, and there's
Mhm.
something catastrophically wrong, and the woman may already have other children, and there's a chance that the woman may die. There's a chance that if they bring the pregnancy to term, that the baby would live,
No,
months. Like
I
I'm saying that like people don't,
understand.
like the religious right makes it really reductive and just makes it like all these perfect babies are being murdered. In actuality, it's like there are all different reasons why women and their doctors decide that abortion is the right
The right
thing for
chan the
them.
Yeah.
And there's no way that some, elected official in fucking the middle of nowhere is able to make that decision for a woman 2,000 miles away from him, you know?
You speak on this, you know about women's rights. I No judgment, of course, but there will always be people who will judge you, but I'm saying that from me, from one person to another, because I do feel that's what happens when people get pregnant as teenagers. There's so much shame How did you, and I need you, if someone's listening right now, because I know so many women who've had abortions and they're afraid to talk about it. They take it to their grave. They don't want to tell anybody. And if they do tell someone, it's always in the middle of a crisis, some cathartic reason of sharing. How did or what would you say? How did you get rid of that shame? How did you get rid of that guilt?
Well, I mean, I realized that my life and my body is mine and it's
Mhm.
not anyone else's, you know? And that the choices that I've made for myself and for my family and continue to make are I am only accountable to myself and my God, you know? And I'm not accountable to anybody else in that way. And I don't I mean, personal I mean, then you get into, like, personal and religious beliefs and, like, when life begins, and my belief system is that, I actually don't think that life begins at conception,
Mhm.
and, uh, and I have no I actually don't have a problem with people who judge me for having an abortion at 15, that's fine. I'm open to the idea that, like, all things being equal, could have possibly lived the same life. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. I'm just saying, like, that's not what happened. This is what happened instead. And I'm okay with it. And I'm all right with it.